And welcome back to the Boneless Chicken Cadet podcast. I'm your host, Micheal. Joining me, as always, is David.
Yoo-hoo!
And tonight we were going to inform you that Caleb will not be making it. He's having a bunch of problems with his internet, and he's not feeling that well. He was going to come on, even though he wasn't feeling well, but his internet decided to not comply with us. But tonight we have two new members to introduce. First, I'm going to introduce Ashley. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
So I am from New England. I am former AFJ ROTC, and I'm going into the Army Reserve.
All right, you finally had a change of heart. All right, and Shay, introduce yourself.
Whatever.
Shay?
Oh, Shay? Shay, is your connection okay?
Oh.
And Shay's connection seems to... Oh, here, wait.
Hello. Hi, I'm back.
Okay. All right, Shay, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you're a part of, what you're doing in your life.
My name is Shay. I was a warrant officer in the Royal Canadian Army Cadets I served in the Corps for about 4 years.
All right, and David, you're going to have to bleep out that last name since we're keeping those private, remember?
Right, yep, I remember that. And by the way, Shay.
Right.
Shay? You ground pounder.
Yeah, I hear you.
There's still the rival.
Chair Force.
Chair Force, best force. No.
Something I wanted to mention in the podcast is that for anybody who, because I'm new, they're not going to know that you guys call me Clouds and Ashley interchangeably. So I just wanted to clarify that from the start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Michael, what's the topic for today?
Yeah, tonight's topic is advice for people who are just going into the cadet programs, whether it be JROTC in your high school or a cadet program such as Young Marines, Sea Cadets in the U.S. or Air, Army, and other Sea Cadets in Canada.
RCAC.
Join Air.
All right. So, before I start off, does anybody have any advice that they'd like to? All right, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'm starting. So I was in the second largest AFJ ROTC unit in the country. So definitely something big for us was being able to, put forth your strengths in such a big unit. Like being noticed wasn't the easiest thing to do, especially as a first year cadet. So I would say just don't worry too much. It's actually a lot of fun, especially the first year, because you are learning everything. Don't be a prick. That's just a life lesson. Don't be a prick. If you're one of those people who are like super into the military and are doing it because you want to join the military later, just don't be annoying about it. Don't shove it down people's throats. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Just don't be a prick, guys. Use some common sense.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Ashley.
Yeah.
On that end. And following in the American part, I'm going to talk about my experience joining. I joined ROTC in the fall of 2015 at my high school. I'm going into my senior year right now.
Old man.
And some advice that I wish I could have given myself before I started was that you gotta go in at it relaxed, because it's not like what people would think about when they think about it. Military programs, you're not getting screamed at the second you walk in the door. To be honest, I was expecting that, so I had kind of become all serious over the summer, which you should still do, but I had gotten to it at an extent where I was,
stiff.
I was the cadet that you'd see in the memes, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, along those lines, especially with if you are very scared of people yelling at you. For us, they weren't allowed to yell at us unless we were on the drill team. So if you definitely want the extra oomph,
Oh, Shay's resetting his router, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect. Perfect. He'll be
I'm back.
hopefully better.
I'm back.
Hey,
Okay,
hi, Shay.
All right.
As you were saying, Ashley?
Hi.
Yeah, so, what was I saying? Yeah, so for some people who are afraid of, being yelled at and being treated like the actual military, I can't speak for other cadet programs, but JROTC is just to teach you leadership skills. It's mostly just life skills. It's not a recruiting program. It's not with the intention of putting you straight into the military.
JROTC is Cadets Light.
Yeah, it's pretty much cadets.
JROTC is like Cadets Light.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and bouncing off what Ashley said, at least in my unit, one of the first things our instructor said on the first day was, this class isn't meant to recruit you into the military. What we're trying to do is help you take that next step after high school, whether it's going to college, serving your country, or just going into a blue collar jobs such as construction or law enforcement.
Yeah, and that I can attest to that. They do say that from the very first day. They do tell you, hey, we're not here to recruit you.
Yeah, that's a big thing. They also do it in Canada as well. Now, Shay, you and me might be different because we're in different corps, so... But here, I'm sergeant. This is actually my last year of Air Cadets. I age out in November because I turned 19, which says something. And when I joined...
Yeah, that's something.
When I joined, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. I had kind of waited until stuff got going, basically. And what happened was, really, what they told us is, don't be
A pepper.
A wild dog appears.
Apologize for the dog.
You cannot run.
Aaron flexes himself out of the room.
Must pet.
Alright.
Alright, now that distraction's out of the way, continue.
But one of the things they told us was, another thing is, don't worry about, them yelling. It'll happen sometimes, but that's only if if the officers get word of something bad's gonna happen. And that leads into another thing, is, if you know that something's wrong, really, it don't matter if the person that you see that you see, say, if they're doing something wrong and they're, say, a warrant officer, don't be afraid to call them out on it. And if you do it enough times, bring it up to the officers. And really, that's one thing they told us. And I got a story about that when I was in my first cadet camp, and me and the guy who I called out on got into a bit of an argument in front of everyone. But anyway, that's for another time, unless I can bring it up later on.
Yeah, that's for another podcast. We've all heard this story outside of it, and that deserves an entire podcast.
Yeah,
topic.
Yeah.
Fun experiences that you've seen.
Mm-hmm. But, and also another thing is, enjoy it. Enjoy the cadet program while you're in it. It's fun. There's so many, for Canada.
Oh, absolutely.
There are so many programs. For Air Cadets, you can go for your pilot's license, and also for ground school, you can actually get grad credits for it. You get credits for high school and volunteer hours too. There's also drill team, marksmanship, first aid. The programs are just so many. It's hard to even describe. And I know
it's very vast.
Yeah.
Especially.
I know for Army, Shay, it's a very hard...
if you're a Canadian, yeah.
For Army, Shay, I know there is Para, which is a really hard course to get into. And I know for some Army cadets,
that's probably the one that's going to give... It's going to give them a lot of trouble, is trying to get into Para.
Yeah, but that's the fun of it. You have to work for it. nowadays, no.
Wait, guys.
Yeah,
Before you continue, clarify what parrot is.
Parachute training, paratrooper training.
Okay.
But
Okay, para
Wow, y'all have-
is
wait,
yeah.
Canada
You get
has
to do the
cadet
Canadian
paratroopers?
Forces parachute course.
yep,
That's actually really
Yeah,
cool.
you get to do the Canadian Forces parachute course. It's the same one the Reg Force take, and you jump out of you do 5 qualifying jumps, and you earn your jump wings.
Okay, I mean, oh crap.
You're
that's
gonna have to censor that. Dave.
that's fine. That's fine. But but
That's
anyway,
actually really cool. Not gonna lie.
but and also no
yeah,
offense.
you earn your red leaf wings.
No
That's
offense.
actually really cool. I actually want. That's the only reason I would go to Canada. Like, no
Canada's
offense to y'all,
pretty
but
cool
that's
in
the
general.
only reason I would go to Canada to get
But-
parachute training.
but
as
the
a
best-
cadet.
I
Yeah.
would love that.
The best thing about it is, like, for Army cadets, you have to work for it. Like, but no offense, you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
yeah, that's another thing you got, is that cadets is going to teach you to do is work your backside off for everything. Nothing good comes easy, and do not, like, sit back and relax on your uniform, because that's another thing that they'll
That
tell you.
yes, thank you for saying that. That is such a huge issue in junior ROTC where, after their second year, cadets start to slack off.
Yeah.
Granted, I only
Don't.
did 3 years of the program. Do not slack off on your uniform.
There-
I will
I agree,
come
that is
after
one of the-
you. Please
I
do
agree,
not
that-
slack off on your uniform.
is one-
Nobody wants a cadet
I
looking
agree
like
that-
garbage in the hallways.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with you. A uniform is the one way that you can communicate with people in public without having to say a word. And if it has a negative look, like say your uniform is dirty and your stuff is placed completely wrong, you may not think that normal people can tell. But compared to a
It's
square,
really
but if you're standing next to a cadet that's got himself in his uniform, him or herself's uniform squared away, it will be a real difference. And
But-
I've been in that situation where I've been the cadet that's extremely squared away,
Mm-hmm.
but someone higher up than me's uniform is very sloppy.
God.
And
Yeah,
like
don't
I
get
look
me
and
started
say,
on that. That is
I look at it-
such a real problem in junior ROTC. I was always the cadet that was extremely squared away. I was a flight commander, so I was in charge of about 25 cadets, and I would personally go to each and every one of them before inspection and say, hey, next time you need to improve on this, this, and this. I would tell them personally because it is very important. Take pride in the uniform. The uniform is very important, and it's one of the ways that without words, it shows how much effort you're putting into the program. So please, I mean, if you're unable to wear the uniform correctly, tell somebody, or try to go early to school and fix yourself. Do something, because the uniform is very important. You're not just representing yourself, you're representing your unit and whatever branch of the military that program is in. So yes, that uniform is extremely important.
Shay might know about this, but your boots are never perfect. There is no such thing as perfect boots. You shine them constantly, which actually is kind of a bad thing for me because I need to polish my boots because I haven't been working on them for the past 2 months. But anyway, that's a different story.
can't relate. Can't relate. Here in America, our shoes are perfect when we get them
Hold
right
up.
out of the box.
No. Michael, for you guys get the pre-shine shoes. Air Force, we get the ones that you have to shine by hand. So
Yeah.
I always had to shine my shoes. And we don't
sorry.
use boots, by the way. We use low quarters.
And
Yeah,
another thing is for like new cadets, if you screw up the first few days, that's okay. It's a learning experience. It's basically like a new ball game for your life. You're kind of learning. After that, it's nice to start getting into the rhythm of things, getting your boots down, getting your creases ironed, getting everything squared away. And by the end of the year, you should be good to go and know what the routine is.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah. And here's another thing. I know I may have done some bad things in cadets. So like, oh, that's another story. But talk crap about some people. But honestly, treat others with respect, and give them respect, and you're bound to get it back. And Shay just left again. Oh, he went
Well,
offline.
rip Shay.
Yep, he just.
Yeah,
Rip Shay.
Shay disconnected. That's
Yeah,
okay.
his-
He'll
Yeah,
come back.
his internet was pretty bad at the beginning too, but he
Yeah.
tried. And,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he's never made
Yeah,
that
I mean,
sound
he might
before.
come back. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, uniform is very, very important. And the thing about respect too, like a lot of this stuff is just life stuff. Like it's not out of the ordinary that you need to respect people. You need to not be a prick. All right, that's just a life, a life goal. Don't be a prick, please. And don't be shoving down how much you love the military down people's throats. It's like religion. Like nobody wants somebody's religion shoved down their own throat. Like same
Exactly.
thing with the military. You don't want somebody else
you
to
could be the
shove
same
in-
religion.
Exactly.
Right. Well, I mean, even then, I'm Christian, and I don't like it when Christians are shoving down their beliefs to me. Like, bro, back off.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying.
1 second.
Here's another thing. Well, here's another thing, Michael.
Mhm.
Yeah. What was I gonna say again? Well, can I about the another thing is what you want to do. For Canadian cadets. Wait.
Okay.
Do you guys? I'm gonna ask this. Do you Americans have like camps for like JROTC?
No.
Yes,
Oh.
in Army JROTC we have this thing called JCLC,
What
which
is-
Oh,
stands
yeah,
for
we have
Junior
that.
ROTC Leadership Course,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
little
a
bit
1 week
different.
which is a 1 week excursion where you either pair with a local National Guard unit or with another group of high school group, and you go through almost a week of military-esque training. Like I have
Yeah,
never
it's a
been,
lot of
but
fun.
I've never been, but from what I've heard from people who have,
I've
on
been.
the first few days, there's like an obstacle course and team building.
Oh,
On the
Shay's
next,
back.
on the next, there's other stuff, and then at the end, there's this big ceremony. where
Yeah, I've
the best-
actually been. I can speak for that. So for my unit, we did not pair with anyone because my unit is so large. We had like 80 cadets go. And then for us specifically, I know some units, they do student cadres. We do not have that. What we do is that any alumni who did pursue a military career. Hi, Shay. Yeah, so any former cadets who pursued a military career can come back and volunteer, and they can help teach us leadership skills, and they are called our cadres. So
Okay.
yes, it is a hell of a lot of fun. It is very they do push you quite a bit, even for Air Force Junior ROTC, they did push us quite a lot. Like I couldn't sit down for about a week because my thighs were so sore from all the squats we did. Yeah, we did do an obstacle course. We did a lot of sprinting, a lot of running. There was quite a bit of yelling, but it was because we only had 3 days. So ours goes 3 days of PT and 2 book days, and we went to an Army Reserves base. So I should mention that the food was amazing. At our base in particular.
And that's coming from a vegetarian.
Yeah, so me and one of the instructors were the only 2 vegetarians out of everyone, so we got priority meals. So
Then you can't really speak for the others.
yeah, I can't speak for anyone else. I did go back to the regular meal and just get vegetables and stuff, and they were very good. But I did get priority meals, so I did have it was a nice perk of being vegetarian. Like basic training is going to be the last time I ever eat. Let me just put that out there. So
Not,
yeah.
I mean, with some
Yeah, there goes his internet. Oh god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
connection is failing.
Dude,
Rest in peace, Shay. 1999 to
Yeah,
2018.
Shay, it's not working. It's cutting out, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Shay. And that's all that Shay had to.
Michael cut out.
Wait, really?
Yeah. That was great. Yeah.
Am I
so-
back?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Caleb's cursed us.
For
But yeah, no. JCLC is a hell of a lot of. For my unit, we did like a competition type of thing. So we competed in drill, in our flights. I was a guide on. It was a lot of fun. Like my cadre taught me everything there was to know about a guide on. So it was really nice. Yeah. You guys can have like leadership positions. You can be like, I know in Army terms, it would be a squad leader. Air Force, it would be an element leader. I don't know what it is for Navy.
the seaman leader?
I think every branch except Air Force, it's squad platoon company.
A seaman leader?
Okay. Yeah, because it's.
Don't hold me to it. Don't hold
I
me.
just realized that. Okay, I will.
Yeah, censor that, please. Both of them.
All right.
Oh, and
No,
there
but yeah,
goes Shay again.
Yep. Yeah, Shay just left again. So.
Shay,
what was I
that's all
saying?
Shay had
so
to say
for
about
us,
tonight.
I can only speak for Army and Air Force, but like being a squad / element leader, or being a guidon bearer, or being a flight commander / company commander, like if you have the chance and you really do want to take that position, do it. Don't be scared. And that's just in general in the program. If you do want a leadership position, take it. Don't hesitate, because a lot of people do get scared. And hi, Shay. A lot of people do get scared of taking initiative and going for those roles. So I did have a blast at JCLC.
For Canadian cadets, it's general training, which is the first camp you'll go to. It's 2-week course. Now, for my experience, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bring up this one sergeant from another flight.
Don't tell the whole story. Don't even tell the.
No.
tell
This
the
is
plot.
this
That's
is a
another
different
one
story.
itself.
This is a different sergeant.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've seen
Man,
all
what's up
the
with Canada?
you've seen the Marine Corps sergeants, right? The drill sergeants.
Yeah.
DIs, yeah.
Yeah. We had one squad across Albert Head, which is on Victoria Island, which will give you guys all a hint of where I live. It's basically
Alberta?
Nope. There's basically a it's like I blots basically. There's H blots and I blots at Albert Head. Now, we were on the first one nearest to the hall, and the squad I'm about to talk about was literally 2 barracks down, or 2 I blots down. So we were getting ready, and all we hear is this sergeant drilling his cadets on how bad their uniforms are, and we're just sitting there like, oh my god, we're happy we're not in that squad.
That is so real. That's happened to my unit a number of times. So we have our flight.
It's a rare thing for it to happen, but there will be, like, I've talked to the guy. He's actually really chill.
It happens. Don't think you're gonna go without unscathed if your uniform looks like trash. It will happen. You will get smoked at some point.
Yeah.
If you keep
And
on
I've
looking like garbage.
I've seen the uniforms. Yeah, he had
to
reason.
I went to DCIC and
DC.
I went to DCIC, drill ceremonial instructors course. And, oh yeah, I went off the kid. It was fantastic. But like, if your uniform,
Censor.
It's censored for us.
I
It
heard
really
it.
did.
I heard it, so the recording heard it.
I don't think it did. Hang on.
Listen through.
I'll listen through it later.
Listen through it.
But
Yeah, we'll listen to it later. But
in GT, like, this was GT, like general training. For DCIC, it's a different thing. Where cadets in basically the province I live in went for DCIC, it was basically the desert. So your boot polish would melt, don't, and for cadets going to that, don't get discouraged about it. There are tricks to keep your polish on. Like the trick I learned, I actually kind of did use was cold water every now and then just to cool the polish, and it kept the shine a bit. It's actually a really cool trick that I learned from another guy. I learned it from outside of cadets, from a former Army Cadet sergeant. Yeah. He told me.
Really nice of them.
He told me do it like not as often, so the sergeants wouldn't notice, but do it to keep the shine. It'll keep the shine just a bit. So there's a piece of advice. And also another thing is, new cadets, if you get advice from like your parents who were in like JROTC or Army Air or Sea Cadets or whatever cadet program you're in, listen to them because they probably know what the hell they're doing.
For real, please listen.
Yes.
Honestly.
Okay. Yeah, so please do listen to your superiors because, like, especially for people who are just about to start. I personally started Air Force Junior RTC as a sophomore, so I did get to see a little bit before I did start the program. But please, please, please listen to the people above you. If they know what they are doing, use common sense. If they look like garbage in uniform and are trying to correct your uniform, put them on blast for it.
In the mirror.
Yeah, tell them to look at themselves in the mirror and contemplate why they're telling you to do stuff if they are not doing it right.
Don't be one of those military nuts. I actually was one for a bit. I thought we were when I was about to join cadets. It was going to be like you were going to get fit as heck. So I started doing push-ups, sit-ups. Like actually, as I'm like, I gotta get ready for this. I'm about to do this. This is so exciting, and it turns out it was way more relaxed. So I'm like, okay. So, but if what we call there's a few different kind of cadets. I'm going to name a few. There's the hardcore military guys who really want to go through this and go into the military.
Don't be that person.
There are.
In my battalion, we call that "don't be." I'm not even going to say his name, but it's "don't be a hit example" because he's made it himself one.
There's also the friendly new cadets that are trying to learn, and they're good, you know. And then there are just the sloppy cadets.
I'll be right back. I have to make a phone call.
All right, that's fine. Well.
All right. Well, I guess it's just me and you now.
Yeah, but there's also the cadets that have the sloppy cadets.
Ugh.
Yeah, you have those one.
I'm gonna give a story about that because
go ahead.
The sloppiness is real. So when I joined JROTC, there was a girl who was in my flight company for anybody else. And she just did not listen to our flight commanders. She did what she wanted. She didn't do anything right. I don't even know how she continued in the program because she did not want to be there, and it was really evident that she was just in there. For us personally, because it is a class in high school. Welcome back, Shay and Micheal. So because my program in my school, it counted for a gym credit. A lot of people do take the class to get out of gym, and it was apparent that was the only reason she was doing it. And
seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah, so she starts off not putting in any effort whatsoever from the get-go. Second year rolls around, see her anywhere. Third year, I'm her flight commander, and same exact thing. I even told her to her face, I'm like, you need to step up your game or leave the program because you are a disgrace. Like, for 3 years, you have been...
She stayed for 3 years?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's doing 4 years, and she's getting absolutely nowhere. And then Colonel, the head instructor of the unit, she was like, I kind of want to put her in a leadership position. I told Colonel, I'm like, you see these sharp cadets in the background here? Those cadets deserve those leadership positions. This cadet right here, I have seen her from the very beginning, has not been putting in effort. And I'm not trying to challenge your judgment, Colonel. It's just the truth. It's from what I've observed as a flight commander and as a cadet in the program. I have eyes. And and like she don't be that person, because not only do they bring down their own image, they bring down the unit as a whole. It's those people that will either make or break your unit. So please put in effort. Don't just, if there's a benefit to being in it, don't just do it for that benefit. Do it because you want to be there and actually try. And you don't have to be, an overachiever, but just put in effort. Just do things right.
Don't be an underachiever.
Yeah, don't be an underachiever.
Yeah, don't be an underachiever either.
Being an overachiever is better.
Which leads into another thing. For those who have camps, like whichever cadet program has like camps or activities, go for it. Sign up for as many of them as you can and have fun.
Yeah.
Just
go in. Like if there is an opportunity, work for it. That's
go
big
in,
thing.
sign up for it. If you don't get it, that's okay. Have fun, make friends, enjoy it. Because honestly, now here's another thing that makes cadet camps more enticing in Canada. Americans, you might get jealous of this.
Uh-oh.
We get paid.
Shoes.
And
censor.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I am very jealous.
And censored t-shirts coming December.
Possibly, maybe if we get enough subscribers.
Maybe.
But but like instructors, they get like 4 or 5K, if I remember correctly.
That's insane.
Because they do like 2 courses. They do like 4. It's based on, they do like what we call intakes. So there's each intake is like, you have your 2, 3, and 6 week courses, and those instructors, I believe, do those courses for 2 months, so it's 4K. So I think that's how the math is.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's actually
David never finished high school, so he's not the best of math.
I did finish high school. I just graduated this year, actually.
Oh,
hey,
same.
Congrats, GED.
I don't know my GED right now. I had to go get it. I had to go look at it again. I can't remember.
Yeah, I graduated high school with flying colors. I'm not gonna lie. I'm also a band leader.
That's another thing cadets can help you out with, is with grades, because I've noticed some cadets, they get their grades once they join just skyrocket.
Whoa. Yeah, in my unit, we take pride in academics. Like if you're failing any classes, you're like kicked out of the program. So
really,
yeah.
Our unit's not that strict, but we give you all the opportunities you can to bring your grade up.
Yeah, like we have tutoring and stuff. Like if they notice that you have if you're about to fail, they'll be like, "Hey, go to this person and get some tutoring." Because if not, you can't get any positions in the program if you even do stay in the program. So yeah, so we are very strict, because we had a girl this year who literally got a free ride to Harvard. Like we have geniuses in the program. So yeah, so I just want to put that out there.
She got a free ride to Harvard.
Yeah, she got a free ride to Harvard.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's really it.
She's a genius.
Yeah.
Doing cadet programs do help. A study in the early 2000s among high school students showed that cadets who are in JROTC tend to get higher grades and graduate at higher rates than their non-cadet classmates.
Which isn't saying anything. That's not saying anything against the people who don't decide to join. I mean, like, if you don't want to join, that's fine. That's fine. That's your choice. I mean, we respect that. Yeah, you do you.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. That's another thing with cadets is, just because you all have to look the same, you all have to wear the same uniform, you have to get certain haircuts and all that, doesn't mean you can't be you, really. Like there are some aspects where you're like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm like everyone else, but most of all, you can be like yourself. Be yourself, basically.
Yeah, I think with the uniform too, like even though everyone is wearing the same uniform, you can shine with your uniform. Like you can make your stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. But
what were you gonna say, Shay?
one thing that I really have to stress with new cadets and everything like that, because that's what this is, advice for the first day, is that if you're gonna be when you're joining, remember that the corps or the squadron or ship's company or whatever you're going into, it is a family, and just because you're a newcomer doesn't mean you're not in that family. It's just you're just a newcomer to it.
Thing.
And
because
if there's
we were really large, that was
you get a huge bond.
If there is a hazing ritual in cadets, by the way, do not go for it.
No, do
I would
not.
report that to
In fact,
officers.
report it. Yeah,
Exactly.
In fact, report that ritual to your instructors or higher ups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but
don't safety first, guys.
Don't feel like any less of a person for not doing it.
Just because they're higher ranked,
because that ritual does not exist.
Just because they're high.
World.
Just because they're higher ranked does not mean they can get away with anything and everything.
That is very true. That's a really
do not be afraid to call out your higher ups.
And another thing too, favoritism.
Yeah,
favoritism.
See, this is why I want to cover this topic. So, my
favoritism, yay!
Yeah, favoritism. Do not be discouraged by favoritism. Try your best. I mean, I will be honest, I did get along with all of my instructors. I have the advantage that A, I am very academically strong, and B, I do get along well with adults. I'm not afraid to speak to an adult. And that's another thing, like just if you guys need something, preferably use the chain of command. If you're not able to, do not be afraid to approach your superiors. If you need them.
And another thing
it'll make you look better.
And another thing is really is if you're going through like a tough time at cadets, like this is for all new cadets. If you're having a tough time, you can go up to your officers. Like I know
yeah, for real.
I went what problem is an officer problem and what problem is a sergeant problem or a corporal problem.
That's a common sense type of thing. You really have to think about it.
My third year, I kind of went downhill. Tried doing some things I probably shouldn't say, but some officers noticed I wasn't myself, and they came up and asked me what's going on. I told them, and they're like, you could have came and told us, right? Like if they're willing to do that, you can go tell them. Like I can trust them fully.
That's definitely a big thing. Like when I was a flight commander, if I noticed that one of my cadets was either really unmotivated suddenly, or if they, suddenly if they were really sharp and really smart and they were just, not doing well, I would, take them out of flight, talk to them privately, be like, hey, what's going on? Like, don't be afraid to approach your higher ups.
And also and also cadets look out for each other. So if you notice someone who's off, it doesn't matter if you're not.
That is so true.
If it doesn't, it don't matter if you're a first year or if you're a fifth year or whatever. If you notice someone,
doesn't matter if you're halfway across the country.
Exactly.
Fact.
Exactly.
Or in another country.
Fact.
Exactly.
Honestly, we have people from both sides of two countries in this podcast right now.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
And honestly,
Ontario, shout it out.
but honestly, if you notice something's wrong with someone, go talk to them. If they don't want to talk about it, that's okay.
Yeah, don't pressure them. Just be understanding. Like from a leader's standpoint, when I would approach a cadet about something, it would be like, hey, I don't want you to get, I don't want you to lose motivation, because I should mention in my unit, third year cadets, if they're a regular cadet and not an officer or in a leadership position, it's because A, they didn't go to JCLC, or B, they weren't just not good enough to be in a leadership position. So a lot of them would lose motivation. Do not lose motivation. Don't lose it, because I had really sharp third year cadets, and I'm really hoping that they got leadership positions in their fourth year. So yeah,
you were a first lieutenant, weren't you?
Yeah, I graduated as a first lieutenant.
Canadians will say lieutenant, and you will be perfectly content with
we first podcast we had an argument about this. We're not going to do it again.
Yeah, we're not going to have an argument about this. I say it my way, you say it your way. So.
All right, that's acceptable.
All right, so, from a leadership standpoint, definitely, like, if something is really going wrong, like, one of my cadets, she was super sharp in uniform, and then my colonel, back to that story about her being like, oh, I want to give the unmotivated one a position. I was like, Colonel, this cadet is so motivated, and the reason I noticed was because when they finally do tell the cadets that they are going to summer leadership, they pull them out of the classroom as a group, and the girl didn't go. And I was like, Colonel, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to step out of bounds, but this cadet has really put in effort. So that's definitely a big thing. Don't lose motivation, and don't be scared of your superiors. That's
and if you're in JROTC, and you have the option of becoming an officer, then
do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Just do it.
Q and Palpatine, do it.
Definitely. But definitely, I was given the
for anyone in leadership positions, like if you're RSM or something like that, and you see cadets who are unmotivated, and you start recommending that one for promotion more than the cadet who's super motivated but still only a master corporal, but is taking on jobs and should be a warrant officer or a sergeant, then promote the good one first.
Yeah, because it'll show the unmotivated one what they should be doing.
It sets the standard.
If someone's unmotivated, give them motivation, do something to help them, but don't just give them a position or a job when they know nothing about it and they have no motivation to know about it, because that's how you breed really, really crappy sergeants.
The other issue with that is that it'll make you look like you have favoritism with the cadets, especially if you promote somebody who is not motivated. Favoritism, going back to favoritism, it is such a hassle to get through favoritism, because I did drill team, armed drill team with the rifles, 1903s, for 2 years out of the 3 years, and the only reason I did not do the third year was because the favoritism was atrocious. It was corrupt, and it was garbage. So don't be that person and it was exactly what we're talking about, where they would give leadership positions to people who
they would
were
base it off rank,
and not as good as people who would try a lot but were not necessarily best friends with the commanders. So that is definitely a huge issue.
Yeah,
and
when
I
did drill team 3 years, so
experience.
Yeah,
exactly.
Drill team sucked with the favoritism.
My
My drill team didn't, thankfully. I was also a qualified shooting instructor, so that was always fun.
You went to
And
RMI. You went to RMI, right?
I didn't do RMI, actually.
Really?
I did DCIC. I got the qualification at the Corps because my CO was a qualified RSO and air rifle marksmanship instructor, and he helped me get to that level where I was able to teach.
Really?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
We had our Remembrance Day honor guard thing. I was part of the honor guard for 3 years. I'm going to see if I could do it for my 4th year. I actually did honor guard in level 2 for Remembrance Day, which is apparently a rare thing for it. But for some reason, I have a knack for rifle drill, and then I'm super sharp with.
Fun.
Yeah, rifle drill is super fun.
It is.
Yeah.
I love rifle drill. I've done honor guard as well.
Yeah, but I did it my first year in level 2, and it it's favorite. There was a little bit of favoritism, but not much. But what you know what you do with favoritism is basically just work your backside off to get noticed. Work harder than the guys and girls who the officers like, and take their expectations and blow them out of the water. That's all you can do. And not only just try your best to blow it out of the water. If you don't blow it out of the water, but get close to it, that's fine. But if you blow it out of the water, there you go. Give effort.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure if any of you
the other thing
know
too I
this.
should mention is like my school also had honor guard, and for honor guard we had saber team and a color guard, and what was happening for I think a good 2 years was that the commanders were definitely using favoritism to pick people for color guards. So I did not do color guard for a good like year and a half out of my 3 years in the honor guard. So yeah, it was really bad for us because
Another thing
there were a lot of people in the honor guard who did no events whatsoever. It was really bad.
speaking of,
For any
go ahead.
for any Canadian listeners here, I'm not sure if you know this, but the RSM's position can be held by a cadet of any rank
Or level.
or level. Thank you. And
What's an
you can go
RSM?
regimental sergeant major. It's basically the top cadet since we don't have officers.
Oh,
So-
yeah,
Oh,
I
and-
The
remember that.
RSM
We don't have officers
The
in there.
RSM can be held by any rank whatsoever. So, no matter what, I don't care if you are a lance corporal or leading air cadet or something like that, and your old RSM, or if you're a corporal or a master corporal, something like that, and your old RSM is aging out, and the CO will usually announce, "Hey, your RSM's leaving. We need a new one. We're gonna do a review board. Sign up.
Yeah.
Sign up. Doesn't matter if you, even if you don't think you're qualified, sign up because it shows that you're motivated."
Another.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. If there's an opportunity, take it.
Here's another.
Always take
for-
every opportunity.
Now for
Always.
drill. Drill. That's the fun
I
part.
love drill.
Rule
Yes,
number
There
one.
are videos.
Rule.
There are videos that you can look up on YouTube to help you learn drill.
Exactly.
So you're
Both
not
Canadian
I
and
actually-
American drill.
I actually made some
Rule number
videos for
one
rifle
For
drill.
cadets in the United States, slope arms does not exist for us.
No, it does not.
Okay, what we call slope arms is what they call a left shoulder arms.
Oh,
Not,
no,
it's
it
Shay,
is
not even
not.
the
Shay,
same position.
Shay, if you don't join the army, the actual armed forces, by the way, there is no slope arms for the C7.
No, it's shoulder arms, which is it's just like you hold the handle of it, and
Which
it's
I've
down
done.
so that the top of the rifle is hitting your shoulder.
Which I've done, and by the way, it bloody sucks sometimes, but once you get used to it, you're good. I've actually made some.
Worse with a bayonet.
I made a video on how to do rifle drill, a little bit. It's like showing some of it. But here's another rule. For the love of God, don't lock your knees.
Don't
ever
lock your knees.
Ever.
Don't lock your knees.
You will regret it because
Unless
you're
you want to
no.
know what a
Person
surprise
passes
trust
out.
fall is.
Don't
Unless
be
you
that
wanna know what
person
a
who
surprise
passes out in the
fall.
first 5 minutes of being at attention. Don't be
I'm
that
assuming
person.
I assume I'm the only one here who hasn't passed out from locking their knees.
I've never passed out.
I've never passed out.
I've
from
lost
locking
a
my
couple
knees.
teeth
I did
because
get
of-
sick.
I
I
have
was
been
on
lightheaded
sick.
before.
I've seen.
I've gotten lightheaded and I've been sick, but that's about it. I've never just fainted from locking my knees.
I've
Same. I've never fainted.
I've almost fallen, but that's about the closest I've gotten.
I've
But yeah,
Like when
like,
you're standing
for
for a
me,
while
it
and you
would
feel
be-
yourself kind of swaying.
I've seen
Yeah.
people like literally like one guy, he locked his knees, and this was in the middle of our closing parade for what was it? It was.
I had to catch a
it
girl
was,
I had to catch a girl who fell once.
but this is
Same.
Surprise trust fall.
bad act. This is for basic aviation and aerospace technology. That's another course you could go to. But this guy, he locked his knees, and all we hear is smack. He fell
Yeah,
forward.
please, for the love of God, don't lock your knees.
He fell forward and knocked a couple teeth out of his mouth, and
Oh no.
and no one noticed until he just fell over. Like sometimes you won't notice the person has locked their knees until they fall face first.
Especially because your trousers make it like you can't tell with your trousers
Exactly.
if your knees are locked or not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's not like skinny jeans. You can't see all the person's curves.
Which is
It hides your movement.
which is a cheat. Here's another trick. It's a cheeky one. Like if you feel like you're
Don't
about to
drink
faint.
milk.
Yeah, that's
Don't
another
drink
one.
milk.
But
Don't
Here-
drink milk.
here's another one. Take
Yep.
take small knee bends. Because
Yep.
the officers won't notice in your pants because your pants are so like baggy. So like
Don't like start dancing in the middle of the ranks.
If I-
but like
Yeah, like for us personally,
if you
as a flight commander, I would tell my cadets every couple minutes, "Hey, bend your knees. Don't fall out. Don't
bend your
don't pass
knees,
out."
wiggle your toes, something like that. If you do
Yep.
feel like you're gonna pass out and there's nothing you can do about it,
drop to one knee.
Let someone
catch
know.
yourself. Take a knee and take your beret or your wedge or whatever headdress you're wearing, and just put it over your face, kind of on your forehead, more or less,
Mhm.
and just take a knee like that.
Yeah, like please, the safety first is definitely a big thing.
Don't-
Don't pass out.
Don't get to know
Never
the,
try and soldier it out, and because you're gonna pass out and it's not gonna be
Everyone will pay for it. You passing out. So
don't
it's definitely a big issue.
don't try
good.
and get
no one's
intimate with the
allowed to
ground.
help you once you're on the ground.
Don't try and
None of the
get
other cadets are allowed to help
yeah. Don't get intimate with the ground. Like literally. Don't kiss the ground and lose a couple
you. No
teeth
frat
because
with the ground. No frat with the floor.
there you go.
That's great.
So,
Yeah,
That-
so
that-
that's definitely a big thing.
but yeah, if you pass out, the other cadets are not allowed to break ranks to help you. Usually, a civilian instructor, CI, will come and get you. If they don't, you might get stepped on.
For my
Oh, Lord.
and I even for like 4th or 5th year cadets, I actually had this happen to me. If you're sick, if you're sick but you think about going on parade, don't go on parade. I learned that at my what do you call it again? The final parade where everyone gets inspected. What was it, Shay, again?
Annual?
Yeah, your annual review. If you feel like garbage all of a sudden, fall out. Like I was doing my job, orderly sergeant,
There's
and
usually a little space off to the side where they'll give you cold water and you can sit down, take your jacket off or
but
whatever.
no, we were in like full uniform.
But
like,
yeah,
when-
full dress uniform, the
Yeah.
whole bit.
and for some normally it's not a problem for me, but this time I don't know what the heck happened, but all of a sudden they took the temperature of me and my temperature spiked all of a sudden once I got in the building. Just I'm like, what the heck's going on? So one of them actually literally I felt like I couldn't walk, so they literally
Actually, literally.
they dragged me over to a chair, sat me down, I got some water, and I went home because I wasn't doing too well.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And you
I never did
complained
any
about it.
parades.
No,
I never did any parades
that was
as
the
a cadet.
that was the first time that's happened to me, and if it happens to anyone else, let someone know.
Yes.
Big-
Tell your sergeants.
Tell your sergeant, or if you can't get your sergeant's attention because you're at attention,
Take
And-
a knee.
but if
Down.
but if no one's looking, because we've had that happen where someone's gotten into like trouble and no one was looking. What he did was he literally whacked the person next to him and said, "Help, help, help."
That'll work.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll
Definitely
work.
Someone's attention.
If no one's
If
looking,
that's your only option, yeah, I agree. If that's your only option, do it.
yeah.
Yeah, as a last resort. I should mention I have never done a parade as a cadet. I have done marching band, and that's how I do parades, is playing an instrument, and I can attest to playing an instrument in either really frigid or very scorching temperatures. It is not fun if you are not feeling well. That is definitely a big thing. Like, don't drink milk before a parade. For any
Especially in the
players
summer.
or woodwinds, do not put extra cork grease on your cork before a parade, because your clarinet or your saxophone, well, not saxophone, but like your clarinet.
Saxophones are reed instrument.
I know,
sorry,
no, I know,
cork
but
is
for any instruments with cork, specifically clarinets, and bass clarinets as well. Do not put extra cork grease on your cork before a parade. Your instrument will just slide apart. So that's I don't know if there are any people in band in the podcast. I'm pretty sure there are not, but that's definitely a big thing. Like if you do not feel well before a parade and it is either freezing or really really hot, don't do the parade.
Yeah.
Just bring
Yeah.
a doctor's note or something.
And on that closing statement, I believe that is all the time we have this
What?
week.
We still.
Really?
Hey, no, we still got a few minutes left. We just keep going.
Oh yeah, we got about 5
Yeah,
minutes.
we have like 5 minutes.
Okay, so there was one parade that my corps does, the Santa Claus parade in town. It
You guys
is
do
the
a Santa
longest-
Claus parade?
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Tell me what. I'm going to be stupid and ask. Is he at the head of the parade?
No,
With the-
he's at the back.
Oh, come on. You
It's
should
like
put him at
Macy's
the head
Thanksgiving Day.
marching.
It's like the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. He's at the end.
Yeah, Santa Claus is at the end. But for the Santa Claus parade, it was the longest parade we do, and it's over. I think it's over 5 kilometers of straight marching.
Yeah, I've had
Oh.
where
It's
it's like,
like
Try doing that
was
with a
on
busted
flag
ankle.
as well.
I believe
I
that's
was
like
on flag
4
party
miles
as
for
well.
Americans.
Yeah. So I was on flag party as well.
A kilometer is well,
I know
for
three- I know
one
3 is
mile
2 miles.
1.6 kilometers.
I know.
So-
yeah, I know that 3 miles is 2 kilometers, or is it the? No, it's the other way
No, it's
around.
the
2
opposite.
miles is 3 kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this parade that we did, we had it was blisteringly cold, and I was on the flag party. And I was one of the flags. It's easier if you're an escort to the flag, so you have a rifle. When you have a flag, your hand is up parallel to the ground, and it's in front of your face.
And controlled by the wind.
Yeah.
Oh,
Try and
God.
hold on tight. Pray for change arms whenever possible. And my hand was stuck in that position. It was stuck around the flagpole for a long
wow.
time. I had to go into a Timmy's and warm up.
Oh God. I would
Mm.
panic a little bit if that happened to me.
But yeah, my final advice for any new cadets: take pride in your uniform and look your best. If you have to throw up in your beret. That's what that's.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I
Your
would say
parade,
that's
so I
a
can't really-
last. I would say
That's
that's
your
a
last
last
resort.
I
That
would say
is your
that's a
last resort.
because these things take a lot. I'm holding mine right now. This takes a lot of time to get perfect,
Yeah.
and I don't want to ruin it.
Yep. I
For-
don't have a beret. I
Because then
can't-
you got to put it back on your head.
No,
Yeah.
no, you don't put it back on your head.
In US we do.
Even
Yeah,
with
well,
vomit in
vomit
it?
on it. No. You don't vomit on it and then put it back on. No.
'Cause that's just disgusting.
All right. Okay, guys. As a recap for our advice, put in effort,
Have fun.
stay motivated, have fun, be respectful.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be
afraid to
afraid.
call someone out if they're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, don't be afraid to call people out. Don't be afraid to approach your superiors.
Always know the chain of command, who to bring each problem
Yeah,
to.
know your stuff and don't ditch your academics.
And
Just
don't be
because
the
you're-
know-it-all.
Yeah.
God,
No one likes
don't be
that
the
cadet.
know-it-all.
The
If you
know-it-all
don't,
is the
rub it
one
in.
who...
There was one example I wanted to say, which was we had a cadet who went up to a lieutenant with an old MRE that she hadn't, not old, but she didn't get to finish eating it, and said, "What do I do with my food?" That's not a problem you bring to an LT. You bring it up to the sergeant or a master corporal.
Oh Lord.
Like,
Yeah,
but
so-
the only
Yeah.
time
Use
you should...
common sense, guys.
The only time you
Common
should
sense.
bring it up to a higher rank is if your sergeants or whatever aren't doing their job, or there's no one else around but the officers to ask for help or whatever. Listen, tell them whatever is going on and be respectful to them. And for God's sake, just be nice overall. They'll be nice to you back.
Yeah, that is true.
And with the
and don't
those
lock your
kind of
knees.
words.
Don't lock your knees. Yes, don't lock your knees.
Yeah.
Don't lock your knees.
Don't do parade
And-
while you're sick.
And remember, Wait, Shay. Correct. If I'm wrong, you can give me crap for this.
I'll
You
correct you. Don't worry.
You always step off with your left foot when marching.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Regardless of
always
direction, you
look
can
Do
be going
not
backwards, you
bear
can go
march. If you bear march, that will trigger anyone.
Yeah. But yes,
Yes.
left foot
Please
first.
know your
Left-
right from your left.
Your
This is
military
my
left.
left. My
My
left.
left.
This is my right. My right. My right. This is my left. This is my right. This is my left. My left. My right.
I am guilty
when you
of
go
getting my
forward.
right and left mixed up only because I'm ambidextrous. Okay, guys.
Yeah, when you step off, keep left
Yeah.
because right is wrong.
And another trick
Right.
is, when you're about to put your left foot down, dig your heel in.
Go.
Mhm.
Yep.
Dig your
And,
left heel in.
Your about turns are always to the right.
Yes, that might be confusing to some people, but you start off with your left, but
Oh,
But
our
no matter
about-
what,
about
you
face
turn
are
right.
the same way.
Yeah, we do the
About
same
face
thing, but
are
it's
always
about
to the
face.
right.
I know how to
always go
do
right.
I know how to do a bit of Marine Corps drill, and it's basically the same thing. Only the thing is you bring your foot in, turn, and
Yeah,
then you
which
go.
is weird.
It's actually kind of
Alright,
fun. Anyway,
American drill is like a dance party, I find.
yes. Pretend
Alright.
you're basically like dancing with your partner, and you're like, don't step on her toes, don't step on her toes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you know who
And
you
with-
are, I'm so sorry.
And with the recap
All right, guys.
completed, the podcast is over. We ask you
Mhm.
to like this if you liked it, and if you want to hear more of us, our beautiful voices, subscribe. Leave a
Yes, and
comment-
wish me luck.
leave a
I'm
comment
checking out
with,
for basic training
questions.
soon.
Good luck.
Yes, wish Ashley
We'll
luck in
have Ashley
basic.
on we'll have Ashley on a couple more times before she ships out. We'll have a good farewell episode
Ashley.
right before she does.
What's up?
Ashley,
And
I
we'll
should
welcome her
be a
back.
regular. I
Ashley-
should be a regular. So
Ashley, you know
look
what you
forward to more of me. Hopefully my internet's better.
you know what you
Yes,
should do,
okay.
Ashley. By the way,
Caleb will hopefully be back.
Wait, hold up. What is it, David?
you know what you should do? Go get a GoPro, send me all the footage, and then I can put it all together.
I can't.
You can have a GoPro during basic training.
Yeah, you can.
No.
No, you can't.
No, one of my
Uh,
friends
the
has.
other-
Cannot.
The ones you see who have GoPro footage were requested to use it by the PR crew.
No,
Yeah.
one of my friends actually has it for basic. Has had it for
I
basic.
don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't risk it because those are expensive and they make you throw them away. And they make you throw them away.
Really?
Or they make you. They do.
They make you throw independent cameras away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they take away your civilian bag for army basic training.
They don't give it back?
They give it
No,
back.
they give it back at the end, but it's worthless.
Okay.
Right. Mhm. Oh no.
And
Leave that
censored.
out.
And that's the end.
So much censorship.
We're gonna edit that out.
I will. I got it. No problem.
Alright, guys.
All right.
Have a good
Alright,
night,
so-
everybody.
Alright.
And we will see you next week for another podcast.
Alright.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vista.